Hello, and welcome to Cars and Crowns, a podcast dedicated to the often intertwined world of both car and watch enthusiasm. I'm your host, Menon, and I'm thrilled that you're here for our very first episode, which is being broadcast from the brand new Porsche of New Orleans dealership in Metairie, Louisiana. I want to extend a sincere thanks to Chris Dubison, who's the director of the used or pre-owned department, and also to Porsche of New Orleans and the staff here. So since Porsche was so generous, I thought it would be appropriate for our first episode to focus on that brand specifically. To that end, my first guest is Josh Weiss,
Yes, sir.
who is the longest or one of the longest standing brand ambassadors here at Porsche of New Orleans. Josh is very accomplished at his young age, and we're excited to hear about how his story started and where he expects that his journey will take him.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Josh, for being
Thank you,
here.
sir.
Yeah, very
Appreciate
much.
it.
Really, really appreciate it.
Of
So
course.
tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get involved with Porsche of New Orleans?
Oh man. So this goes back to 2018, 2017. I was washing cars at a German auto shop. Um,
Here in town?
Here in town, probably 5, 10 minutes away. It was a little shop called Gruff Motors.
Oh, I
And
think yeah, okay.
yeah, so independent Porsche shop, they service BMWs, Porsches, all types of sorts. And I was washing cars for a year there. And just doing all the dirty work and, stuff that you do there. Um,
So that was about almost 10 years ago,
yeah, so
2017.
so seven and a half
Okay,
years ago,
got it.
roughly,
Mhm.
8 years ago. And when I actually saw the same position at Porsche New Orleans to do the same thing, and I'm like, whoa, Porsche sounds great. Let's go to,
Sure.
let's go to the actual dealership and do it. So it's funny, the backstory on it is like I called in sick. Like I went up to my boss, I saw the job on Facebook that day. And I told my boss, I'm like, I have a family emergency, I have to go.
Oh, nice.
So I went home, showered, shaved, like got dressed, and went and applied at Porsche
For a similar position?
for the same position
Okay,
to wash
nice.
cars, be in the
Okay,
back, clean
wow.
the
Right,
shop,
sure.
and that was it.
Was your, like, I don't know if you remembered back then, but
Hmm.
was the idea that eventually you would become a brand
No
ambassador?
idea. Had
Okay,
no clue. I
nice.
mean, I didn't really have much of a direction. The only thing I knew that I loved was cars.
Sure.
Cars was the biggest thing that I wanted to be surrounded by. And that's what really sparked the passion. So I went and applied, and they're like, "Look, we think you're a great fit, but we think that you'd probably be better up front." I
Okay.
was like, "Okay, absolutely. Let's do it." So I started out as like a receptionist slash sales assistant.
So did you wind up doing the car detailing or the?
I never did it.
Okay,
No, I never
sure,
washed
sweet.
cars or anything.
Okay, all
I
right,
never
sure.
cleaned the floors or did
Yeah,
anything. So they're like, look, you know, we think you might be a little bit moldable in the fashion that we can put you up front and, just learn the ropes a little bit. So I was up there answering phones, greeting customers. And then I started doing some photography and videos for the dealership for the cars that we had for sale. Um, and I did that for a year, and I slowly but surely learned the ropes of becoming a salesperson. And I watched the dealership was so small. I mean, I don't know if you've been to the old store,
I
but
have
it's
several
so
times.
small.
Right.
So I can hear everything that they're
Ah,
saying over there.
sure.
So I'm picking up on what they're saying and how they're talking to customers and how they're greeting them and how they go on test drives. And I mean, if we fast forward a bit, I saw how they did that, and I said, I can do that job if they just let me. Um,
So how did you broach that with like the current sales staff or the
Yeah, so
sales manager?
without naming names or how it
Sure.
happened, but um there was a salesperson that left the store. They had three salespeople. So it was Nate, Sean, and a guy named Jonathan. Jonathan ended up leaving. He went to Washington, D.C., I think. And they hired a guy. And I saw the way that he operated and I think ultimately um he went on vacation for 2 weeks and I stepped in. I said, you know what? Let me try this out. Let me kind of force my way in there a little bit. And in those 2 weeks, I think I sold four cars.
Oh,
And
did you
I
really?
wasn't a salesperson,
Sure.
but I had a customer on the phone. They're like, I need numbers. I
Sure.
need this. I need X. I need Y. Can you send it to me? And so I worked deals and I figured out how to do it. And I would bring the deals to the salespeople. So that month went on, the guy came back, and ultimately they let the guy go. And they said, look, if you want to give this a shot,
Sure.
here's your chance.
Look at that.
You know.
It's interesting. I watch a lot of podcasts about a lot
Mhm.
of stuff, and it's not that that was, but it's fascinating to me about how luck,
Hmm.
or whatever it was that drove you that day
Of course.
to put your application in a Porsche of New
Hmm.
Orleans. You could have stuck around at the other job and like probably worked your way up. And
Yeah,
I imagine they probably sold cars there too.
they did. No, it
Okay,
was just
sure.
purely a service
But
shop.
eventually, and
Yeah,
then, like
yeah.
serendipitously,
Hmm.
you were in the front and,
Hmm.
and all that stuff. So that's
Yeah.
fantastic. It's a really terrific story.
Hmm.
So, like, without having any sales experience and
Hmm.
then kind of getting thrown into like fire or whatever you want to,
Hmm.
however you want to phrase it. Of course, you had time to learn and, that kind
Hmm.
of stuff. Uh, do you have any experience with any other brands?
No, zero. Yeah.
So, like for, of course, we hope our audience, has a ton of experience in the sales on the receiving end.
Hmm.
Like, what's it like as a salesperson, like selling this car? Do you
Hmm.
find that the majority of your customers are already very well informed, or do you
Hmm.
find that people come in and they're like, I don't know the first thing about a 911?
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
how have you?
Man, that's such a wide question. I mean, we see the full gamut of people. There's one side of customer who is a 911 purist till the day they die, and they know everything about it, and they want the GT3s and the Turbo S's. And then you get, I think the bulk of my day and the bulk of my customers is a customer who comes in, they're driving a Mercedes GLC, and they're like, look, I never thought that, I'd be here shopping for a Porsche. But here I am, I see you guys make the Macan. I want to check it out. I want to see
Okay,
what's
sure.
how it is. Or, I just literally just finished up with a customer who had a BMW X7, and they're like, I've never seen a Porsche before. I've seen Porsches around, but let me come check them out. Let me go drive it. Let me see if I like it. And at the end of that test drive and that consultation, they come in, they're like, wow, this is so much more of a driving experience and driving car. Um, just the fit and finish, the quality of materials, the way the car drives is just it's better.
Do you find that with the 911 or Cayman, that I don't want to use the term upsell,
Hmm.
but like if somebody comes in and they're like, I'm interested in 911,
Hmm.
do you feel as though there's opportunity, to be like, hey, look, you should think about, the GTS or the
Hmm.
maybe GT3, maybe not GT3, but
Yeah,
something along
yeah.
like how many of your customers do you think start off coming in saying I'm gonna and then wind up,
Hmm.
with like
Yeah.
is that a common thing or uncommon thing in Porsche?
It is common to a certain extent. I mean, we had one guy, Mr. Joe. He had a regular base 911 Cabriolet, and I think he's a retired gentleman. And he went to Atlanta to the Porsche Experience Center, and he got to experience an S and a GTS and a turbo.
Sure.
And he came back and he ordered a
Oh,
GTS,
did he?
and then I think he came back a few years later and got a turbo. So people do end up, climbing the ranks and going up. When you get your first Porsche, typically it's not your last.
Of course.
And literally with a Cayenne, same scenario. He had a base and he came in and he heard the sound of a 4-liter V8 in the GTS. And he's like, I have to have it.
Sure.
So he bought a base a year ago and he traded it in for a GTS a month ago. And we custom ordered that car to have everything he wanted. So people definitely climb the hierarchy and ranks within the Porsche model range. It is fairly common. Yeah.
Sure. So, like from a brand perspective, I feel like Porsche has this like niche and space. I don't think that anybody will ever, fall into it or,
Hmm.
push Porsche out of the way. It's interesting when you look at the history of the car company or the company itself. There's a podcast called Acquired.
Okay.
Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
It's I just happened to come across it because they had so it's two guys. I don't remember exactly what their background is. Uh, and I think they've been on like Spotify or the air,
Hmm.
however you want to phrase it, for like a number of years. But each episode is like 3 or 4 hours.
Wow.
And it's just them two,
Uh-huh.
periodically will have a guest,
Yeah.
talking about a brand or
Hmm.
product. Porsche is one of them.
Really?
And I'm about an hour and a half into the 3 hour episode.
Okay.
When you think about the history of the company and, all the stuff, they were manufacturing cars to look like, I think,
Hmm.
the VW Bug.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember exactly what happened.
Hmm.
The, the, the brand or the company maybe like went through a couple of iterations and the 911 emerged.
Hmm.
Talk about, maybe like how iconic of a car itself that is, and where like you see the direction of the 911 going.
Oh man. Um, I think, I mean, 911 came out in the late 50s, early 60s, I want to
I
say.
believe so, yeah.
So, I mean, they've been building it. Porsche just had their 75th anniversary. The direction of Porsche is definitely going more hybridized. They're getting into more battery technology.
How is that sitting with sales ambassadors?
Yeah, so 911 GTS just came out, and specifically just to hone in on the 911, a lot of people were really weary about the electric side of the GTS and the electric turbochargers and the engine and the powertrain. We've been selling them for about a year now, and they've been wildly popular, extremely popular. People are really in love with the platform. The torque is amazing.
Sure.
I mean, the initial bite of the car is pretty insane. It's really proved to be a tried and true platform. Again, they are pretty new, so we don't know the long-term longevity of, those parts for 3, 4, or 5 years. Now, when we shift to full electric cars, it's a little bit of a tougher sell.
So I know the Taycan,
Hmm.
and I think the Macan is going all electric or has.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, I understand that maybe the 718 platform is not going to go all electric anymore.
It's up in the air. It's
Okay,
up in the air
right.
for now.
That must be kind of tough from the
Yeah.
sales side to,
Yes,
customers that are
it
inquiring and not
is.
really knowing.
It is. Came in production, so mid-engine ICE production just ended in October of 2025. So there's nothing else being produced. Porsche put
On the
out
718
on
platform?
718 platform, the
Okay,
ICE.
sure.
There is the EV, replaceable is coming out TBA. We're not really sure yet. There are there were just recently talks in Germany about killing the project, but they've already invested hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars
Sure.
into developing that platform.
Yeah, other car companies I think are going through like iterations or ruminations about,
Hmm.
the direction. I know Ford, I think on their like truck platform,
Yeah.
decided that they were going to shift direction. I don't
Hmm.
know of any like that just comes to mind. I know Porsche had been throwing around what to
Hmm.
do about the, 17. It's an interesting time period,
Yeah.
all of this is happening, and at the same time, Elon Musk is rolling out the
Mhm.
Cybercab. Have you seen this thing?
Yes.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah. That thing's crazy.
yeah, fully
Yeah.
autonomous.
Yeah.
You can put it to work while you're, not using it.
Yeah. It's a
And
crazy idea.
yeah, and
Um,
when you look back at like previous Twitter
mhm,
quotes that he had, and
mhm.
like I think he said on something that came across my feed or X, like the cars aren't going to have steering wheels, and the
Yeah.
audience kind of laughed. I mean, but
Yeah.
it's happening. It's
It's
crazy.
insane.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think, we'll touch on this in a little while too. I think though that these non-electric still require a driver.
Hmm.
Like maybe they'll be like I don't want to say extinct, but like rare, in
Yeah.
the future. And all these cars that are being produced now will probably hold their value,
Yeah.
immensely. And, you know,
Exactly.
yeah. So, I just want to shift a little bit, so, you were a car guy from a young age.
Hmm.
You're still a very young man. So like, what was it about? Like, did your dad or your parents or your
Hmm.
neighbors, like, or
Yeah.
just like, you saw, whatever TV show was on with the
Uh,
this or that. Well, what do you
with
remember about
cars.
that? Yeah.
Geez, I think so. I've tried to think about this in the past, like my earliest recollection of seeing a car or getting into it, for that matter. I think it was like, I don't know, I was probably 10 or 11 years old, and my dad and I were like in the parking lot of a Walmart or something, and I think it was a black Testarossa,
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm like, something's off about that.
Sure.
Like that's not a Toyota. Something's different.
Yeah.
And I saw that and like I'm trying to remember like something about that like really lit a fire and I was like, I want to learn more about that. That looks cool. That's fast. I know that's
Do
fast.
you remember roughly how old you were?
I was probably 10 or 11 years
Yeah,
old,
sure.
maybe younger. I
So
don't really
left an
know.
indelible mark, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I don't know where the car came from. I don't know where I was. I think I was in Kenner or something.
sure.
But yeah, like just the sound and the looks of a car have always been striking. I mean,
Yeah, interestingly, I think probably a lot of people, in this demographic, something like that, an exotic car from an
yeah.
early childhood memory or whatever it was. Well, do you think that like the car part also pushed your passion for watches?
So. I really don't think it did, honestly. I didn't get into watches until I worked at Porsche.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So
So
what do you think that drove that, or how did that happen?
so what really drove it? So I don't know if he's watching this or not, but Paul Costello is a good friend of mine, and we went to high school together, and we were friends in high school. We didn't see each other for years, and then he was actually a receptionist at Porsche. Um,
You guys worked there together?
we worked there together
Okay.
at the same time. We
Sure.
worked there together for probably 6 months or so. But he had, I think it was an Omega Seamaster. And I kept seeing it on his wrist, and we kept talking about it. And I'm like, that looks kind of cool. Like, I want to know more about that. And then the old GM, Ryan DeToro, who worked there, I think he was a Hublot guy, and he had Hublots, or maybe he wanted one or something. And Paul would teach me about watches every now and then. And I mean, I guess this can segue into the first watch I bought, but Paul ended up moving. He went to New York or something for a job, or he switched career paths. Um, and I started to learn more about watches, and I wanted a Submariner. I wanted to get a Submariner.
Roughly, how long ago was that?
This was 2019,
Okay, so about
2020.
6 years ago.
Yeah,
Sure.
somewhere around that. And I'm like, well, I'm working as an hourly employee, not really making any money. I'm living at home. So like I couldn't swing a Submariner, but I found a brand called Tudor, and Tudor's has a huge push right now. But I found out that, Tudors are 90% of a Rolex essentially.
How did you come to find that brand, or like
Just research,
okay,
just
got it. Sure.
research and podcasts and like, you just go down rabbit holes,
Sure.
on the internet about watches. And I brought it here with me today.
Great. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, let's take a look. So this is case,
Nice.
and we got some stuff in here.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
this is the first watch I ever bought, a Tudor Black Bay 58.
Nice.
And it came with a leather strap, and I put a rubber strap on it. But first watch I ever bought, will never sell it. I think I paid $3,200 for it.
It's beautiful. What is it? A
Yeah,
39 millimeter?
39 millimeter.
Okay.
Yep. Dive watch. I love the black and gold
Sure. Of
aspects to it. I mean, we're
course.
in New Orleans,
Of course.
so
Yeah. Do
uh,
you dive?
I don't.
Do you swim
No,
with it?
no.
Yeah, but no,
Just
it's
like
funny.
everybody else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure. No, it's
yeah,
fun. Like, no, interestingly though,
yeah.
like I feel like if the watches are rated for that,
Hmm.
I don't want to say that I'd like jump in the ocean with it,
Yeah.
but certainly in the pool, or this is a beautiful piece.
It's
So you,
gorgeous.
you think you're
Love
gonna
it.
keep it forever?
Oh yeah, I have to. I
So
have to.
this was about 2019,
Hmm.
and like you're
I
kind
think
of
it
cruising
was
along.
2020.
Okay,
Yeah.
20. So you're
Hmm.
cruising along, this kind of scratches that itch that
Hmm.
you have initially.
Hmm.
Like, what do you think? So are you dailying this back then?
Back then, yes,
Okay,
absolutely. I wore this for about a year, like every day for a year.
sure.
It was my go-to watch, and I still wear it every now and then.
So
Yeah.
how did you, I don't want to say like justify, but
Uh-huh.
how did you put your mind around, because like
Hmm.
um uh, uh, like we don't need to go into the specifics of the price, but like
Hmm.
it's an expensive watch.
Hmm.
You're not quite doing as well as you are now.
Right.
So like how did you,
How did I justify the
or
price?
just, hey, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this commitment and
Uh-huh.
spend way more
Yeah.
than I ever imagined I would on a watch.
Um, I'm trying to think. Like, I had some money saved. I had
Okay,
a bunch of money saved, and I'm living at home. I mean,
sure.
expenses are really cheap, and it was a relatively small price to pay for an entryway into the world of horology. And I saw the value in the watch, being that it's 3 grand. It's a little over 3 grand. I bought it on Chrono 24.
Okay.
And I remember when I bought it, and I'm like, oh my God, I just spent
All
three
right. Sure.
thousand dollars on a
Yeah.
watch. This is
Right.
insane.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. And I got it in, and I put it on, and I'm like, this is worth every penny. This is
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
Um, but I knew that, I think even today I could probably sell this watch for around the same
Of
price,
course.
maybe a little bit less.
Sure.
So what if I lose a grand,
Right.
$500?
Yeah, there's that
Yeah.
whole like kind of conversation
Hmm.
in the watch space about, whether what you're buying is an investment,
Right. Hmm.
versus, like whatever you described. You lose
Hmm.
little, and the trade-off for that is the wearability
Yeah.
and the idea that you get to put it on your wrist and
Hmm.
all that kind of stuff. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think similarly with cars,
Yeah.
it's like you buy something and the
Hmm.
expectation that it's going to go up in value, and
Hmm.
there's certainly,
Yeah.
a base for that.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I don't know that I necessarily ascribe to that all the time,
Yeah.
either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's definitely, there's in the past, geez, ever since COVID, especially with cars and watches in particular, of buying things as investments.
Uh-huh.
And I don't really subscribe to that, like you mentioned. I want to buy it and I want to wear it.
Right.
I'm going to wear it.
Sure.
I'm going to drive it. My car is right behind you. I drive it every single day.
It's great.
Um, I don't, and if whatever the value is in the future is kind of irrelevant to me, I do like to buy things that are value buys. Something I'm going to buy that I'm not going to lose my shirt on.
Of course.
You know, I'm not going to go buy, I don't know, a diamond set
Of
Datejust.
course.
It's just not me, and
Yeah,
it's
sure.
not,
Right.
it's not that. So I want to get my money back if I ever decide to sell it. I want to get most of my money back, if
So,
not all of it.
so along your, collection journey, have you mostly dealt with the AD or gone through the gray market or a mix of both?
For for the most part, AD.
Got it.
Two watches. I've bought two watches not from an AD. I bought the Pepsi. So there's a Pepsi GMT
Yeah,
sitting
let's
up
take a look
here.
at it.
Yeah. One of my favorite watches
It's
of all
beautiful.
time. It's iconic.
Iconic. It's
What
like
else is there
it'll
to
never
say?
lose its value.
Exactly. I paid about 15 grand,
Okay,
15.5 for this.
sure.
I bought it from a friend
Nice.
named Caleb. He might be watching this.
Okay, great.
I've been on the list from ADs. And
When did you get this?
when?
Yeah. About
Middle of 23.
okay, so
Middle of
was
23.
this your second watch after the Tudor?
No, so there's two watches that are not in here that I actually sold.
Okay.
The one after the Black Bay was a 36 millimeter Explorer.
Okay. Nice.
Um,
That's a
yeah,
great watch too.
yeah,
It's gotten a lot of popularity recently.
yeah,
I didn't realize that until recently, but it
yeah.
has. So you had that, maybe you had another Rolex?
Yes, so I had a 36 millimeter Datejust.
Okay, got it. And
Um,
then that's out of the collection now.
that was sold.
And
Yeah.
then that moved you on to this one.
Yes. Before that, there was a root beer
Okay.
also.
What
Yeah.
what, what happened there?
So I ended up, what's on my wrist, I traded the 36 millimeter Datejust and a root beer for
Ah, nice.
a
Okay.
Daytona. Uh,
Would you consider that one of your grail pieces or
Absolutely,
yeah, sure.
100%.
So just to kind of get back to this really quickly though.
Hmm.
So one of the episodes I mentioned about Acquired is about Rolex.
Really.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like a 3.5 hour or
Hmm.
4 hour listen,
Yeah.
but just how they position themselves as a
Uh-huh.
brand, et cetera, specifically in relation to Omega.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like not I don't want to say rivalry, but
Uh-huh.
there was a lot of stuff that,
Yeah.
when international travel started in the 50s or 60s,
Hmm.
pilots needed a way to keep track of, what their
Hmm.
home, whatever was. And
Yeah.
it's based on the Greenwich Mean Time, which is a city in the UK.
Hmm.
And I guess that's where the international timekeeping, I don't know if it's an observatory or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a standard, I guess, world time. And
Interesting.
so Rolex decided to put complication on their watch that would allow,
Hmm.
and it's amazing how wildly popular these watches are.
Incredibly popular.
So
Yeah.
when you wear it, do you set the GMT function?
Yes, I do. I
Okay,
do actually.
great,
Yes,
sure,
I
yeah.
do.
I'm sure it's
Yeah.
awesome for travel.
It is.
Um,
It is.
so did you? I see most of your collection is Rolex,
Hmm.
otherwise, and we'll go over the. Is that a Casio?
Yeah, it is a
That's a
Casio.
great watch.
Yeah.
So
This is a fun watch. It's just fun to
it
play around
is,
with every
yeah,
now and then.
sure.
Yeah.
So was your intention to kind of like go through the hierarchy and ultimately wind up with a Daytona?
Absolutely.
Okay, sure.
100%. That
So
was always the grill.
so we'll get to that if you don't mind in, in,
Hmm.
in just a second. Can we just go through? So there's
Yeah.
another date just 41
So
millimeter.
another Datejust, 41 millimeter mint green
I
dial.
really like the dial.
Yeah,
It's
the
beautiful.
dial was my favorite. The way I got this watch was actually totally luck. I mean, this is through the thick of COVID. It's probably 2022,
Sure.
and watch prices were just insane. And my AD hits me up on a two-tone yellow gold Wimbledon dial Datejust 41. Or no, maybe it was a champagne dial. And you know, during that time, during COVID time, we're selling everything at the store. We're doing well, And my AD offers me the watch, and I go, yeah, I'll take it. You know what? I'll take it. And so I plan to go there the next day, and he calls me later in the day. He goes, I'm so sorry, but they promised this watch to somebody else. What do you want instead?
Oh
And I
wow.
go, I want this.
Okay.
And he goes, we have it.
Nice.
So I'm like, hell yeah, let's
Sure.
do it.
Of course.
So yeah, it was total luck because these were really hard to get at the time and still are.
They are.
Um,
That whole, you know, that just speaks to another area that I wanted to cover about,
yeah.
you know, I don't want to call it like the false hype, but, you know, there are some collectors who
Hmm.
have shied away from, you know, those brands that make it, whether it's artificial or
Yeah.
whatever, you know,
Yeah.
difficult and wait list and, you know, go to the
Definitely.
gray market, but, you know, you're going to pay, you know, 20% or 50% more, whatever the number
Uh-huh.
is. You know, so I don't know. I wonder if in this space
Hmm.
of, you know, collecting, whether those things have been off-putting enough for people to
Hmm.
change their allegiance, so to speak. What do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's,
like your friends or whatever, like you
yeah.
know,
Yeah. I mean, people, I read a lot online, as everybody does, and like, it's very off-putting the AD experience that some people get.
hmm
Thing, things like in this case are always going to be hard to get. And
agreed.
it's really hard to wait years and years and years for just the watch that you want. You just want to wear it. You just want to enjoy
hmm
it. I've thought about delving into like reversos are
Okay,
really pretty.
sure.
Or Omegas, you know. I really want a Cartier. And not that Rolex is super off-putting, but my taste evolves over time.
Sure.
But I tried to get I have a green Submariner sitting here, a Starbucks. And I ended up
So that was
yeah,
your original, like, sought after when you bought the Black Bay was the Submariner.
yes.
And
Hmm.
so how many years passed from when you bought that to getting
I
this
got
one?
that last year.
Oh,
So
wow.
about eight
Okay.
months ago.
So, but
Yeah.
did you have the opportunity to buy this prior to getting it, or were you waiting for, you know,
Um
the,
like I was waiting for that watch.
okay, sure.
Yeah. So I had put my name on a local AD's list.
Who's
And
your AD?
um I've worked with two in the past, Lee Michaels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
Lee
That's
Michaels, Oakland.
same. They're
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
You know, they really are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, it's interesting. So you wouldn't have gone with a black ceramic
Hmm.
bezel or,
I really like the green.
yeah, it's
Yeah. If they
tops and
offered me a black one, would have
sure,
taken it.
of course.
100%.
Yeah.
But I love green.
So, you know, so it looks like, you know, you have, I don't want to say like specific brand loyalty or whatever. What, like you mentioned, Omega,
Hmm.
Cartier, it's JLC that makes the Reverso,
JLC.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, right. So what do you think would drive you at some point to, you know,
Hmm.
change or, you know, and do you think, I mean, have you thought about it enough that you'd consider, would you trade something or, of
So I don't think I'd trade anything, honestly. I'm so happy with the collection for
course,
right now. I feel like I have the best of every model range that was in my budget per
sure.
se. A stainless Daytona, the Pepsi,
Yeah.
the Starbucks, the
So I do want to
Dayton's.
talk about that.
Yeah, we
Of
will. Um, but I'd probably consider it in maybe a year or two, you
course.
know?
Yeah.
I'm super happy with where everything is.
So what do you think, like, is there a number in
Hmm.
terms of not price,
Sure.
but the quantity
Hmm.
of, you know, fine horologic pieces that you think is
Uh,
enough? Is it
oh
ever enough?
man, that's such a good question. You know, I don't think there's ever enough, but as I start to fill this case up, I'm like, I can only wear one a day.
Agreed.
And
Well, unless you're Mr. Wonderful and you
yeah,
save on,
exactly.
yeah,
You are
right.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but
That's actually,
yeah,
I mean, so like, have you seen that? You know,
yeah. Oh
so
yeah.
what do you think about the two watch?
So it's
You know,
funny.
do you watch Harry's Garage?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think he does it too.
I think he does it. Yeah.
He has a Apple Watch, and I think he has a Hublot or a Panerai.
Hmm. Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
So it's funny, people actually give me flack, but I wear two watches a good bit of the time.
Oh, you know, when you walked in, I think I saw you have
Yeah.
one. Yeah. Was it a Garmin or
Yeah,
something?
as a Garmin.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
sure.
I'm a big runner.
Okay.
And I just did the Louisiana Marathon
Oh,
and
nice.
I wear it 24/7. I don't take it off.
Do you wear like a fine horologic piece when you're running?
No,
Okay,
never.
right,
No,
sure. So it's only
never.
your,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
it's only like I wear them because I love them and I
yeah,
love what they stand for.
sure,
And I love the talking piece between myself and friends, family, and customers. When somebody comes in and I see them wearing a Siege Butler
sure.
or a Daytona, I'm like, hey man, where'd you get that from? It's a talking point and it's a way to bond over certain things. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I forgot the question
No, no,
was.
no. It was about so from this, you know, like okay,
Mhm.
exploring other brands. You mentioned Omega. Have you
hmm
seen their reverse Panda Speedmaster?
Yes, it
Stunning.
is
It
gorgeous.
really
It is
is.
beautiful,
Yeah,
especially the yellow gold
I
one.
saw that.
It is
Yeah, it's
beautiful.
that's retails for close to 50K.
It's insane.
I know, I'm
It's
shocked.
insane.
The reverse Panda is I think about 10.
It's like 10.5
Yeah,
or
right. That's
10.250.
like one of the
Yeah,
hottest
it's
for
beautiful. And I
2026.
think they're trying to, so the people who couldn't get a Le Mans Daytona,
Sure.
that's who they're trying to
Right.
market that
Yeah,
chance. I'm
sure.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
So how did the Daytona come to be?
so I have wanted this watch for ever since I got into watches, even since I got the Tudor
Sure.
years ago. And I've told my AD before, I'm like, hey man, I really want this watch. Put me on the list, put me on the list, put me on the list, please, if you ever get one. And over the past, 6 to 12 months, I've realized like I don't think I'm ever going to get the call on this. I'm not spending 50 to 100
Sure.
grand in jewelry or watches. I just don't think it'll ever happen. It's probably going to be another 5 years, maybe, if I ever get the call. Or unless, the watch market tumbles or something happens. So, I had a 36 date just and I had a root beer. And I started putting the numbers together. And I'm like, okay, if I can get X for this and I'll pay,
The Delta.
you pay the
Yeah.
delta, maybe I'm not out so much cash, to get the watch I really want. So that's what I ended up doing. A
Who
good
did you
customer.
go through for that?
So a
Remember?
good customer of mine, Corey Abear,
Uh-huh.
put me in touch with John at On Demand Timepieces.
Okay.
John, if you're watching this, stellar job. Great, great market dealer. But he gave
Is he
me,
local?
he's not, he's actually based in Kansas,
Okay. Sure.
Wichita, Kansas. Um, and so I reached out to him and I'm like, hey, I got these two watches, can you find me something like this?
Sure.
And we put a deal together
Nice.
and shipped him mine. He sent me this.
When did you get
And
it?
so I got it probably October of no, the day before Thanksgiving last year.
So about a year and a half-ish, year and a
Uh,
few months.
no, like
2025?
2025.
Oh, wow. So it's
Yeah,
brand new.
it's pretty fresh.
Can I take a
Yeah.
look?
Yes, absolutely.
It's stunning.
It's one of my favorite watches
Yeah,
ever made.
it is. It's really stunning. Rolex did a phenomenal job when they made this watch. And I don't remember exactly how Paul Newman, he had a racing team.
hmm
And I don't know if Rolex paid him or,
hmm
oh, you know what? His wife gifted him his Daytona, the
Really?
one that sold for like 18 million or
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
think it was.
crazy number.
Do you know the story there?
Not really.
So his wife gives him this watch, and I think, it's on that leather strap with
hmm
that like kind of stop sign looking, maybe like, lugs
Yeah.
or dial. I mean, it's a round dial, but it's a more drawn out, from what I remember,
hmm
case. And he wore it during his races, and his daughter's boyfriend was at the
hmm
house one day and asked him like, "Hey, do you have the time?"
Yeah.
And Paul Newman gave him that watch. He said, "Here,
Wow.
have my watch. It's beautiful."
That's
And
crazy.
I don't remember how
Yeah.
if it even got back into the
hmm
family, or if the daughter's boyfriend, who might be her husband now, actually was the one who put it at auction.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just kind of gave that
Because it got out. I mean,
iconic.
the watch, I mean, just has traded hands numerous
It
times.
has that
You know,
watch. I can't imagine will ever lose value.
yeah,
And
yeah,
they're still incredibly difficult to get through the authorized dealer. I
incredibly
think
hard.
Rolex has done a phenomenal job of keeping it kind of
hmm
elusive in the
Yeah,
interest. But the white dial is just stunning,
it's my
and it's
favorite.
a
The
big time
contrast,
eye
the
catcher.
contrast.
And a
Yeah,
lot of companies try to,
hmm
mimic and all that stuff.
yeah.
It's a great piece.
Thank you. Yeah,
So do you wear it often?
pretty often. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
at least like once or twice a week. I rotate between this and the Starbucks and the GM and the Pepsi.
sure.
I
And
mean,
then maybe this when you go out to dinner or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. It's
Or
like
yeah,
however you're feeling when you wake up in the
sure.
morning.
So tell me
Yeah.
about the Casio.
So the Casio, not much of a story to be honest on this. I mean, I think I don't know. I saw somebody wearing one, and I was like, "That's such a cool and retro watch.
Of course.
Like, I need to get one of those."
So this is the kind of watch that I grew up with.
Really?
Yep. In fact, I had this exact watch or an iteration of it with a rubber strap. It was all black.
Yeah.
The cool thing that happened when I was a kid with these quartz watches were they started getting better and better lume or light.
hmm
I don't know if you remember that Timex commercial. I don't know if you were probably a kid
Yeah.
where they're like crickets chirping
hmm
and the light comes on the watch and the crickets go silent
Uh,
because that's how good.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
right.
I
But
see.
that was
Yeah.
after, me and my friends, we used to sport the Casio watches. Armatron made one with a calculator on it.
Yeah.
And in the 1980s, I mean, that was like, I don't know how to even describe how
Yeah.
awe-inspiring that was to have a calculator on your wrist. But this watch is great. So you might sport this out on a
Yeah.
casual day or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Just out
Yeah,
and
sure.
about, you know.
How long did you get that?
Oh man, I've probably had this for probably 4 or 5 years now.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Because I mean, I saw I mean, how much can you get these for? 30
Sure,
bucks, 40 bucks
of
maybe?
course. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah,
But they
let's have it.
last and they serve their purpose and
Yeah.
I don't know if there's going to be a big switch towards that. I think
Hmm.
generationally
Yeah.
there may be,
Hmm.
not necessarily, to a brand specifically, but
Hmm.
watches that serve a function,
Yeah.
and I don't know, when the iPhone came out,
Yeah.
the idea that like watches were going to go away was a real
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the thing that predated that for automatic movements or mechanical movements was the quartz scare that
Hmm.
occurred in like the 60s or 70s
Yeah. Yeah.
when
Yeah.
the manufacturers in Japan
Yeah.
figured out how to make a very reliable movement with a battery.
Yeah.
And I think that
That's
like all the
right.
Swiss watchmakers were panicking. And,
Hmm.
the thing that I thought about, recently in exploring the movement itself is how similar to a car engine
Oh yeah.
and I know
Yeah.
oh yeah, when you say that, of course, but just like the level of detail and all the moving
Hmm.
parts that are necessary for both to run
Yeah.
so efficiently
Yeah. Of
and reliably,
course.
I would
Hmm.
argue that a watch with its micro mechanics
Hmm.
and all the stuff that it has to do reliably every day
Hmm.
probably exceeds the reliability of a car engine.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
I mean, they have their
Yeah.
wear, maybe not as much as a
Yeah.
car does or whatever, but
Yeah.
just all the moving parts and the fine hand skills that are necessary to put those things
Yeah.
together. It's really fascinating.
It is. It
And
is. I mean,
have you looked into like the movements and stuff?
a little bit, a little bit.
Yeah,
I know like a few things. There's a guy on YouTube who does like the watch
of
restorations,
course.
and I will just sit there and
I
watch it.
know.
And
There's
I'm
one
like,
guy who does it in silence.
really,
Yeah.
really,
So
yeah,
the guy you're talking about,
uh-huh.
it's like I forgot what it's, but yeah, he like brings back to
Everybody knows
life.
that there's this one channel on
Yeah,
YouTube who does
right.
like
And
the
it's like
best one.
you can watch it for
Yeah,
3 hours or
yeah,
whatever.
you can
Yeah,
watch
it's just
forever,
yeah.
and you just fall asleep.
I know, right? But still, you wake up and he's still working on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, he's still working
Yeah,
on it.
sure. So
Yeah.
after having acquired all this stuff,
Hmm.
and then kind of getting back to the car part of your journey.
Hmm.
So along the way, you've had success.
Hmm.
These things have come into your possession, and
Hmm.
you cherish and utilize them. Where did your car,
Hmm.
journey start, and where are
Hmm.
you now, and what do you expect
Sure,
to be?
sure. Um, man, I mean, if we want to go way back, I mean, my first car was like a Honda Accord. It was my dad's like champagne with tan interior, 150,000 mile Honda Accord.
The best.
And yeah, it's just, the best year
Do
in
you remember what year it was?
uh oh six,
Oh yeah, that's a
I
great
think.
body style.
I oh eight maybe. I don't know. I mean, yeah, just all
Yeah.
dented up,
Four cylinder or six
four
cylinder?
cylinder, of
Okay,
course.
right,
Yeah.
sure.
Economical
Of
man.
course.
I got that, and then I think when I went to college, I got a Scion TC.
Oh,
It was
nice.
called Cement. That was
Okay.
the OG chalk,
Okay, right.
so
Nice.
I had it
I
before
remember
everybody
that car
else.
vaguely. Was
Yeah,
that a manual transmission or
auto.
okay,
It was an
sure.
auto.
Yep.
Yeah. It was an auto transmission. And then when I started working at Porsche, I was there for a year, and they said, hey, this was at the time where we could do a DELP, which is a dealership employee lease program. So I ended up ordering a base 718 with a stick.
Oh, nice.
So I ordered it from Germany, white with black
Oh,
wheels,
beautiful.
6-speed manual. It was my first manual car. And I remember like back in the day, those cars weren't that expensive. I mean, I think my sticker was 68 grand.
It
Um,
was a 718 platform?
yeah, 718
Yeah,
platform.
sure.
Yeah, 2-liter four-cylinder, 300 horsepower. And that was like my entry point into Porsche. And luckily, working for the dealer, Porsche has really great programs
Sure.
for their employees to get into cars. And my payment on a brand new Porsche was
Oh,
$434,
wow. That's impressive.
which was like amazing. And
Sure.
I think I was an hourly employee at the time
Sure.
you know. So I leased that car for 2 years, and when that 2 years was up, COVID was just starting, I
Okay.
think. And they said, "Hey, look, we can't get you another car. You need to go find something." So that segued into I grounded my car, got rid of my car, and I found a my holy grail dream car from college, which was a E90 M3.
Oh, awesome.
So BMW M3, six-speed manual,
Sure.
sedan, V8, carbon roof. I got it from a guy locally, Ryan Abity, if you're watching.
I think I know him. I
You
had an
might
E90 M3.
really,
Yeah,
yeah.
in 2000, what would the year have been?
'08 to
Yeah,
2013.
that's what
Yeah,
I had an
yeah.
'09.
Okay,
I got
yeah.
it the year the Saints went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah,
That was it. So yeah, that was like an amazing
it
car.
is.
One of my favorite cars I've ever
Yeah.
owned. And Ryan did so many performance upgrades to that car. Carbon roof, big brake kit, HREs. It had these BMW Performance Euro buckets. And I put 20,000 miles on that car. Loved every single second of it. And I drove it for 3.5 years. And that would transition into the car behind us, which is a 981 GT4.
Okay.
And I knew like I had been making some money. I had, plenty of equity in my car, and I'm like, I really need to get into a Porsche. Like I'm ready to get into a Porsche.
Sure.
It was really hard to let go of the BMW because I wanted to keep it forever. So,
Do you think it would have been
mhm.
a forever lasting car?
In terms of
And
reliability or just
mm,
keeping it?
yeah,
Ooh,
because I've heard stuff, I've
yeah,
seen a couple of YouTube videos of guys that have 100,000 mile picked them up and had to
yeah,
do some work,
yeah,
to make sure that, I mean, I'm not saying that's a big stretch, 100,000, but maybe even less mileage than
yeah,
that. But
yeah.
maybe not, maybe I'm
Mhm.
misremembering.
No, I mean you're spot on because the E90 V8 or the S65 B40 is
Yeah.
the engine code. They had two Achilles heels of the engine, so rod bearings and front
Yeah,
actuators.
sure.
Rod bearings happened in the E60 M5 as well, but the engine would grenade due to oil starvation in the bearings. And everything that I kind of read, I mean, it could happen really early, it could happen late, but I was about to tick over 50,000 miles.
All right.
And if you
So,
repair it, it's about a $3,000 to $4,000 job.
sure, of
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna dump it right now
course,
and just not deal with it. Would it have lasted if I'd done the bearings? Yeah, probably
probably.
so.
Sure.
You
So
know,
you traded that for this.
kind of.
Okay.
Yes. So the way that this car happened behind us was kind of an accident, honestly. I was on Bring a Trailer and I threw in a couple bids on this car thinking it would go a little bit higher.
What
So
do
it
you think of that website?
it's awesome. It's
Okay.
great. I spend
Sure.
too much time on it
Right.
every day,
Yeah,
still to this
sure.
day.
Okay.
But it's a great platform, and that goes for cars and bids, P car market, bring a trailer. It's a great way to see the market and what your car is bringing,
Sure.
and the values, and you can see how the values are trending upwards or downwards. The car behind us, I mean, it's a six-speed manual, mid-engine, naturally aspirated GT car for 100 grand.
So it's the 17 platform.
981.
Okay.
So 981 was right before 718.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Mhm.
But it's a GT3 engine.
Not quite. So
Okay.
the engine in this is actually out of a Carrera S.
Okay.
Carrera S and GTS from the 991.1
So
platform.
it's naturally aspirated
Naturally aspirated, 3.8. Yeah.
V6.
Flat six. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Flat six. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
So 385 horsepower stock.
How do you have you done anything to it to modify it?
Yeah, I did a Cobb tune and some soul headers with sport cats. And,
So how much did the Cobb tune affect, like how much did it gain
um,
HP and torque?
on naturally aspirated
Yeah, it's not
cars,
as
it
right
doesn't add that much, but maybe 10,
enough
15
to
horsepower.
feel it.
I felt it.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah. So is
Yeah.
this your forever car?
No.
Sure. So
Probably not.
so from
Yeah.
the brand ambassador
Hmm.
standpoint, like what's the natural
Hmm.
progression for somebody who's, in your
Hmm.
position? Is it to go onto a 911?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
that is like the dream was a GT3. That's always the dream. And that's probably going to be
That
the
would be your
next car.
daily?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, it'll be the daily. I really wanted a six-speed GT3,
Okay.
and like I just couldn't swing it.
Yeah,
I
right,
mean,
sure.
they're, at the bare minimum, you're in it for 170 to 180 for a 2018 or a 2019.
So that's one of the things I want to talk about is like
Mhm.
the insanity
Yeah,
regarding pricing in the pre-owned space
yeah,
for all these cars
hmm
that a year ago or a year and a half ago
yeah,
were, like less than I don't know the percentages,
yeah,
but Porsche, like that
yeah,
that area skyrocketed.
yeah. It's
It's
truly
almost
skyrocketed.
like trying to get a Daytona,
Exactly. Just as
in
hard.
terms of like, what
Yeah,
you have to pay on the secondary market,
exactly.
kind of thing. Yeah, sure.
Exactly.
So like, do you expect that's going to keep going?
Um, yes and no. I mean, unless something happens like a huge financial crisis,
Sure.
I don't think anything is going to change,
Yeah.
honestly.
So you've had
Yeah.
this car for how long now?
A year and a half.
Okay,
Yeah.
and it's your daily.
It's my daily.
So
Hmm.
I didn't
Yeah.
bring. Do you track it? And
I haven't tracked it yet.
yeah, sure.
No, but I want to. I want
Yeah,
to.
I don't. It's interesting. Like you watch all these, podcasts, and it's like, all these guys that are routinely going to the track.
Hmm.
I don't know how they find the time to do it. I mean, of
Yeah.
course, if they're auto journalists,
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
but neither of us
Yeah.
is Chris Harris.
No, no, we're not Chris Harris.
Right.
We're not Matt Farah.
Yeah,
We're
right.
not
Sure.
any of those
Yeah,
guys.
right. Yeah.
I
I
would love
like
to.
the idea. Like it's always appealed to me that the car would kick ass on the track,
Yeah.
but I don't necessarily need to put it there every weekend,
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
But yeah, so you get a lot of use out
Hmm.
of the car.
Plenty. Yeah.
So the plan is you think that you'll graduate to a 911 GT3 eventually?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
That's the ultimate goal.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, reliability, Porsche,
Hmm. Hmm.
doing great.
Rock solid.
Okay,
Rock
wonderful. Yeah,
solid.
sure.
Yeah.
And you don't have any concerns about, yeah. Okay,
Zero. There's a guy in California who's got 169,000 miles on a GT4,
sure.
just like
Oh,
this.
wow.
169.
Okay,
And
yeah, sure.
so he's got PCCBs, ceramic brakes,
Sure.
and he made an Instagram post a while back. I'll find it, but original pads and rotors
Oh
in
my
that car
gosh,
with
really?
that many miles.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean they last forever. Porsche is
yeah,
a phenomenal brand as it relates to that.
phenomenal.
Yeah, so I think we'll we'll get some footage
Hmm.
of your car.
Definitely.
And maybe I know there's a new GTS on the
Yeah,
showroom. Maybe we can show some video footage of that or
sure.
get on the road.
Yeah.
Uh, I'd like to finish by asking, what do you think defines you more, your cars or your watches?
Oh man, cars.
Well, why do you think
Definitely
that is?
cars. People know me for cars. I am the Porsche guy. That's how my friends know me. That's how when I see a person I haven't seen in 10 years, they're like, "You're still at Porsche, right? What are you driving?
Sure.
What are you
Yeah.
doing? You're still there? You're still, crushing it over there." And then the watches are like a subcategory, I guess, but I'm known for being the car guy, the Porsche
That's
guy.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Portia's lucky to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was
Thank
great
you.
talking to you and getting to know you.
Absolutely. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
my pleasure. Same,
Absolutely.
okay? Thank you.